Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
2 quarters of contraction.
The definition of a recession
is a recession.
Now? No, it's not a recession. The economy's just slowing.
That doesn't sound like a recession to me. Thank you very much.
Show us your plan to get us out of recession.
It's called the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022.
A giant package of huge, new, job-killing tax hikes.
This bill is fighting inflation.
So stay tuned.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome in, News and Views for a Political Trivia Thursday. We're playing a little bit. Every president had this in common. That's the category for our questions, and interesting question. You'll be surprised. This just out of PJ Media. The individual that came in from California who wanted to kill Justice Brett Kavanaugh, guy named Nicholas Roski. There's new evidence out now, different testimony, different things he's said on social media that's beginning to surface. Apparently, his goal was to kill 3 justices. He wanted to change the outcome from our judicial system for years to come. Now, are you going to hear anything from Joe Biden about the fact that this was an insurrection?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about wanting to overthrow the third branch of our government, I mean, which we've said over and over and over again. But
well, when you have the Democrat Party leadership, and then kind of insignificant House and Senate members right on down the line of Democrats, I mean, if anyone's done any insurrection, it's been them. I mean, they, to have press conferences out in front of the Supreme Court and say the kind of things like
you'll
Chuck
reap
Schumer.
the whirlwind. Exactly.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. But,
calling out the individuals by name. Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, you're going to reap the whirlwind.
But this is kind of life imitates art with the Pelican Brief novel. I don't know if you ever read that with John Grisham, Pelican Brief.
Yeah.
It was good.
Carolina Journal is reporting North Carolina Republican Representatives Dan Bishop, Madison Cawthorn, and here in the East, Greg Murphy are among the members of Congress who have signed on to a Republican letter written by Ronnie Jackson, Congressman from Texas, who's been on our program before. The third letter from Jackson calling on President Joe Biden to take a cognitive test. So far, Joe has not responded, which might be part of the cognitive issue. Now, remember when Donald Trump was president, there were Democrats out there asking the same thing of Donald Trump. He said, okay, sure, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. And passed with flying colors. Now, the shoe's on the other foot. Yeah, he aced it. Now the shoe's on the other foot, and Joe doesn't know what shoe to put on.
I think you were reading off those list of names. I think there's probably some that say Madison Cawthorn. Why don't you take one while you're at it?
That's true, too. Jackson sent the letter Wednesday to Biden, Dr. Kevin O'Connor's physician to Biden, to Dr. Anthony Fauci. So he sent out 3 copies. Fauci, of course, the chief medical advisor, who's going to be retiring, it looks like. He states that Biden has not responded to previous letters sent in June and last February by multiple members of Congress that urged him to take cognitive tests like the Montreal Cognitive Assessment that former President Donald Trump took in 2018. Jackson stressed that it isn't a partisan issue, noting that Maryland Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin introduced legislation to establish an independent commission that could examine a president's fitness for office and determine whether the president is mentally or physically unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Now, it doesn't say in this article, but my hunch is that Joe Biden wasn't president when Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin, who I think is on the January 6th committee, he's the guy with the wild hair. Mm-hmm. I don't think Joe was the president when he introduced that. Jackson noted that while Biden has brushed aside the assertions as partisan political attacks, the left-leaning New York Times recently published an article outlining all of this in great detail. He said the article mentions how at public appearances, Biden shuffles, Biden slurs, he loses his train of thought, and that's when he's having a good day. He notes that gaffes have varied, including Biden's statement, if China attacks Taiwan, we need to remove President Putin from power. Can't make it up.
He's just trying to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, there you go. Now, this is cut one, Clark. What's interesting and sad, this is more sad than interesting. I mean, this is our president. I mean, I know you didn't vote for him if you're listening to this program. Well, 99% of you didn't. But this is how other countries around the world view our president. Here's Sky News Australia, what their anchors think of our president and his cognitive abilities.
Let's check in with the US president, who this week told the world he had cancer.
You know what was happening? It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
But it turns out he doesn't have cancer, thank God. He's got COVID. It says something about Biden's diabolical mental state that no one actually believed he had cancer when he said he did. We all assumed it was yet another gaffe, another stuff-up caused by his malfunctioning mental faculties. But the 79-year-old president does have COVID. Let's check how he's doing. This is White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator.
As you all saw just a few minutes ago, the president is doing better. He slept well last night. He ate his breakfast and lunch. He actually showed me his plate.
What a good boy he is, finishing his food. You can just picture him proudly holding up his empty plate to prove he's had all his vegetables and deserves Jell-O for dessert.
Yeah, that's about all he can probably chew.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing.
But you know, I mean,
I remember feeding my kids.
And you've got to laugh at this, but at the same time, this is how other nations are viewing the United States and our president. Mm-hmm. And these are our allies. These are friendly allies. These aren't our adversaries. What are our adversaries thinking and saying? Those people that want to take advantage of the fact that we have some guy that all he can do is swallow Jell-O.
Well, the good thing is we've got a backup. Number 2's pretty good shape. a mental lightweight.
Yeah, she can eat rice pudding.
She is an embarrassment as well. I mean, good grief.
I mean, I know that this is anecdotal, but there were not that many people that didn't realize how bad Joe. I mean, I know it's much more evident about how bad his cognitive abilities are now. But listen, when the guy couldn't come out of his basement for months at a time during the campaign, it doesn't pass the smell test that he was legitimately elected. It just doesn't.
No. And I watched last night. I watched that video that the White House released. I guess right after he came out of COVID, where he was staring and didn't blink, and I watched it again and again and again, and I think there was some really serious editing going on.
Oh, there was,
to the point where I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Like his eyes were his eyes. I mean, it is. No, I mean it's strange. It is the strangest thing that I have ever seen.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple times. He does blink once. In 42 seconds, he blinks once.
I mean, they took some Scotch tape and taped his eyes shut or
there
open or
there
something.
There is. If you're watching,
look the entire time.
Yeah. And I shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh because it's sad.
Yeah, and I've said it before. The person that I hold more responsible for this than anything is Jill Biden. I just cannot imagine the level of greed it takes to put a loved one through what she's putting them through. And she knows how bad he is, and she's known how bad he was before he ran. And I can't get to the level of evil she must have in her. And greed, it's just greed. She's been promised the world, or either she knew the only way the way they could protect the family financially and to keep him out of jail is for him to kind of control the executive branch, maybe.
I think that has merit to cover your fanny.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're not president, your son's going to jail. If you're not president, you might be going to jail. If you're not president, Jill might be going to jail.
And I've shared, I guess you could say, my deep conspiracy on this, but I think it's been in the works from day one. I think the powers that be of the Democrat Party knew that they had enough information. Hey, the FBI's had this information for years. So if they've had it and they're withholding it from the public, they're sharing it with Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's all a plan to get him in office. He was the only one that the Democrats could possibly get close enough to win the election. They're going to get rid of him, and they're going to slide somebody in there and go into 2024 without a primary. Still say it.
Well, Ronnie Jackson, Dan Bishop, Madison Cawthorn, and Greg Murphy aren't alone. 66% of voters believe that Joe Biden should take a cognitive test. 56% say they are confident that he is mentally and physically fit for his duties as president. 64% believe he has shown signs that he's too old to execute his duties. 60% of respondents, 65 and older, think he has got issues. So, people in my category are supposed to be too old to know what's going on.
And 95% don't think he can find his way from the presidential suite to the Oval Office
without being directed. Since we have videos of that, that's pretty obvious.
They always, what is the guy that has the position that every president has like a handler or a what do you call it? They got a name for it. His guy, his kind of assistant.
First man is.
Well, it's kind of it's like kind of an intern position, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like his personal assistant, I guess. But they probably, that job's probably like the toughest job in Washington, other than the person that works the teleprompter.
Interesting. Another interesting story out of Carolina Journal, and this is judicial activism in its most extreme form. An example of it. There's a lot of examples of it. This is just another one, but this might be the most extreme example of a state Supreme Court. Most of your judicial activism you have seen up to now has happened on the federal level. The state Supreme Court of North Carolina will hear oral arguments in October involving North Carolina's disputed election maps with along party lines, a 4-3 party line vote. The court's Democratic majority issued the order today, setting arguments as early as October the 3rd. The order produced a rare dissent from the court's 3 Republican justices. Writing for the Republicans, Justice Tamara Berenger, she writes, "What is happening in this case cannot go unnoticed. An alliance of special interest groups unable to convince a majority of the people's representatives to pass certain desired legislation now has resorted to asking this court to simply write that legislation into our state's sacred charter, the North Carolina Constitution. It is a feckless attempt to enable a thin majority of our state's highest court to supersede the will of millions of citizens who participate in our political and legislative processes. The majority's decision lacks any jurisprudence support. It reeks of judicial activism and should deeply trouble every citizen of this state." That's pretty bold.
Yeah, and unfortunately, everyone knows, Anita Earls, were put there for a specific reason. To be an activist. She's been an activist her entire career that really, didn't have any bench experience whatsoever, hardly. But there are some justices there that, in that 4 majority, that they have a career of on the bench and a career of being impartial at times, but they have absolutely just rolled over. And all you got to do, just go look at their financial disclosures and who donates to their campaigns. And I'm telling you, they are just turning over a complete partisan, complete activism, and it's really shameful what's happened to the Supreme Court.
Now, what's interesting is the plaintiff in this is a group called Common Cause, very liberal group. They've requested the court to expedite the hearing and consideration of the matter of the maps because they say it involves a significant public issue implicating substantial rights. Berenger wrote, however, resolution of this appeal will not have an impact on the 2022 election. So it doesn't matter. It's not like we've got to speed this up. The next time this would have any effect on an election would be the presidential election of 2024. Nonetheless, for no discernible jurisprudence reason, 4 justices on this court have chosen without explanation to allow Common Cause's motion. Justices also split on the 4-3 decision as to whether to grant a request from the state legislative leaders. Lawmakers want to dismiss their own appeal of a court-drawn congressional map, and basically they're doing that because they know that the Supreme Court of the United States is going to end up hearing this case. The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to address the congressional map dispute in a separate case called Moore versus Harper. Arguments in that case have not been scheduled. They would take place after October 19th. Now, I do wonder, I mean, we've heard other comments as to the fact that the Supreme Court, federal courts, don't like to intervene and overrule a state court. Mm-hmm. Is that part of the rationale of this? Is that, okay, if we can get the North Carolina Supreme Court to go ahead and rule on these maps, and basically the maps are good for this year. The question now before the Supreme Court is, are they going to be good in ongoing elections going forward? Does Common Cause think, well, if we can get this tied down by the North Carolina Supreme Court voting in our favor against the North Carolina legislature, will the United States Supreme Court back off? I don't know. I'm speculating.
You know, the Supreme Court, the federal U.S. Supreme Court argument, I believe, is more about the process of who constitutionally gets to choose. Right. So I think it's kind of limited, but maybe that's their thinking, though, is that. And
again, according to our Constitution, and I would think.
It's not the Supreme Court of North Carolina. They don't get to choose. I mean,
bingo.
To me, it's cut and dry, but I don't know. It's
simply put, the majority's decision to allow Common Cause's motion to expedite while not allowing legislative defendants' motion. Again, this is Behringer's writing. The legislative defendants' motion to withdraw their appeal cannot be explained by reason, practice, or precedent. Common Cause's motion to expedite is meritless. Legislative defendants' request to withdraw is more than warranted. Given the absence of any identifiable jurisprudence reason, the majority's decision today appears to reflect deeper partisan biases that have no place in a judiciary dedicated to the impartial administration of justice and the rule of law. I mean, again, another great example of anarchy in which we live. The High Court's latest order arrives one day after legislative leaders filed a brief defending the legislature's role in the redistricting process. The central question in this appeal is whether the General Assembly retains even a scintilla of discretion in redistricting, or whether the judiciary has become North Carolina's redistricting authority. To ask the question is to answer it, wrote Philip Strach, the representative of the Republican lawmakers. The North Carolina Constitution vests the General Assembly with redistricting authority. The body enacted new redistricting statutes in response to the court's fashioning a new partisan gerrymandering limit on its authority. Strach wrote, the General Assembly is not alleged to have purposely discriminated against the Democratic Party in the state remedial plans. The state remedial plans satisfy the letter and the spirit of this court's ruling. You talk about, again, as when I opened this story, this is judicial activism in its most extreme form. And
I mean, basically, the only thing they can argue is that, we don't like the fact that a Republican majority drew the maps.
Yeah.
And it's unfair because there's not enough Democrats that were drawn. That's not the law. I mean, the law is you just can't discriminate. A political party isn't being discriminated against just because they're in the minority. I mean, elections have consequences. If you don't like it, win some elections and change it.
Unfortunately for them, this is just going to double down on why Republicans ought to be elected and Democrats ought to be passed over. Because, again, this enables the voter, the citizens of North Carolina, to ultimately decide how the maps are drawn, because they elect their representatives. The representatives draw the maps. No, what the Democrats want, they want 4 justices on the North Carolina, 4 people, not the voters of North Carolina, 4 people on the Democrats' side and on the Supreme Court to decide for everyone. And I suppose their argument would be, well, they were elected. Well, we'll see. After November, I don't think. I'm just saying. I don't want to sound cocky, but after November, and again, maybe this is why they're pushing it so hard, that even these justices in the North Carolina Supreme Court, the 4 Democrats know their time is limited. We better get it done before October, because otherwise it might not happen. Hey, we got to take a time out. Lots more to talk about. We'll be right back.
500 local trades, and we'll buy you out with our best offer. Or trade in for a new Toyota and get our Greenville Advantage with no-cost lifetime maintenance and more. Don't miss the trade buyout at Greenville Toyota.
Hey, we're at Marabella's in Greenville, the new location of Marabella's on Fire Tower Road. If you haven't been to this place yet, let me tell you, you are missing out. I want to introduce my friends from Marabella's. I've got Sal, Massimo, and Pietro here. These guys are awesome. Not only do they make great food, they do a lot of things for the community, which we're going to be talking about. But Sal, let's start with you. Let's talk about the new location of Marabella's on Fire Tower Road. I'm a regular here. I love it. You guys call it Old World Pizza. Tell us what's different about your pizza.
Well, we got two kinds of pizzas. We have the traditional, American style, and then we have the Old World Pizza, which is made with fresh mozzarella, and the way they do it in Italy.
Massimo, when you talk about doing this food right, it's authentic. And when I talk about authentic, you grew up in Italy, so you grew up with this food. You know how to make it.
Yeah, because we grew up in Italy, we know the ingredient, and everything we do from scratch. And the right ingredient it's been hard for us to bring over here. And now finally we can get the right ingredient to make a right pizza.
All right, now I'm going to talk to my friend Pietro here at Marabella's. He's got the Nino's shirt on today. We're going to talk about Nino's, which is another great dining experience, upscale dining experience, on another segment upcoming. But Pietro, let's talk about Marabella's. For people who've never been to Marabella's, what's the experience going to be like when they come here? Not only pizzas, but pastas, salads, sandwiches, you got it all.
Yes, we do. We have new sandwiches that we put in this new location, and we're going to spread it to the other locations.
The guys here at Marabella's have won national pizza competitions, so you know it's good. Thanks to Sal, Massimo, and Pietro. Folks, do yourself a favor. Come to the new Marabella's here on Fire Tower Road in Greenville, or Marabella's on Greenville Boulevard, or Marabella's in Washington on Carolina Avenue. Also, don't forget upscale dining at Nino's on Red Banks Road.
It pays to pre-order at Greenville Toyota. Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, RAV4s, Highlanders, and more are on the way. Pre-order yours today. Plus, get more for your trade. It pays to pre-order at Greenville Toyota.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You never know when the news will break, but leave us on and you will.
I think we want to see more details right now
on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. News and views for a political trivia Thursday. Your category is every president had this in common. We'll play in a little bit. Taking a quick look at your weather forecast. A few clouds and a stray shower possible tonight, low around 77. Tomorrow, variable clouds in the morning and then a stray shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, a high of 97. Thunderstorms and showers overnight. Chance of rain tomorrow night is 40%. Saturday is the best chance of rain, 60% chance of rain Saturday afternoon, and a high of around 90. So it cools down a little bit, and the rain should continue into Saturday night.
Did you get rain last night?
You know, it spit a little bit. There was a huge thundercloud that was coming up over and just sort of dissipated.
Oh, we got a nice one. A little bit before dark, and in the middle of the night, we got a big rain. Had an inch in my rain gauge this morning.
Did you really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
That was much needed.
We did not up where we are. Weather brought to you by our friends at Ironwood Country Club. Whether you're looking to spend your summer poolside, courtside, or greenside, Ironwood Golf and Country Club offers a variety of memberships tailored to fit your lifestyle with no initiation fees required. And listen, if you're headed to the beach this summer, pack your clubs. Ironwood members receive reciprocal golf and dining privileges at the Beaufort Club in Beaufort and Compass Point Golf Club and Magnolia Greens located near Wilmington. For more information, contact Membership Director Jenna Doyle. Her number is 252-752-4653. Join in the fun at Ironwood today. When you join Ironwood, you basically have membership at a total of 4 clubs in eastern North Carolina. Ironwood is a part of the Renaissance Golf Group. Did you hear about this woman over in Rowan County? Earlier this week, WRAL had a story on her. Apparently, she was scorned by her boyfriend. And to get back at her boyfriend, she decided to seek revenge by setting the ex-boyfriend's house on fire. Now, I don't know if the woman was inebriated at the time or she it might have been dark. I don't know, but she sets fire to the house. Turns out to be the wrong house.
Whiskey make you do crazy stuff. I mean, that's like boiling a rabbit in a pot type crazy there. You know, like Fatal Attraction. I mean, gosh.
Yeah. So, and then the homeowner was awakened by neighbors saying, hey, somebody's trying to set your house on fire. Runs out, tries to get the garden hose to put the fire out. Apparently, she put some sort of sealant in the hose, so he couldn't get water out of the hose. Anyway, she is now being charged with felony first-degree arson, assault with a deadly weapon, and larceny of an animal. What did she do to an animal? Oh, she was holding one of the dogs on a leash as the house was set on fire. Anyway, she's not having a good week. Lost her boyfriend, and now she's got a place to stay. It's called the county jail. PJ Media is reporting political prognosticator Larry Sabato, that guy from the University of Virginia. Larry wants to come across as nonpartisan. Larry is a typical political science professor at a major state university.
And
do I say more?
And he's in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to say anything.
Hadn't had a constitutionalist there since Thomas Jefferson.
Saying that, painting the picture of where Larry is coming from, Sabato's Crystal Ball, a political prediction website with a pretty good following, has made 10 rating changes just today for House races. 9 of them favor Republicans even more than they were favored before. Significantly, there appears to be no impact at all from the abortion decision on House races. Now, think about that. I mean, this is what the Democrats are betting their chance of survival on, is they are constantly pushing the fact that, look what they've done to Roe v. Wade. Look what they've done to abortion. Look at this activist judiciary we have at the Supreme Court. Again, according to Larry Sabato, who's no conservative, he's coming out and saying no impact at all. And we've had other stories where the polling has come out and say I think it was Rasmussen last month had a poll that said, okay, what is the most important issue for you as you go to the polls? It was probably earlier in July, not last month, but earlier in July. And I don't know had a higher number than abortion. So obviously people are not that concerned about it.
Well, you know, really there truly are very few House races that are ever in play. I mean, there's some just
handful,
just never in play. I don't know what the number is, but it's very few. But with the situation, I mean, really, the Biden administration has failed on every single issue that has touched, and then ignored some things that they should have done something on. So I just don't think between now and November, I just can't imagine abortion being important enough when, you know, the economy's shrinking. I think the economy will continue to shrink. I really do. Gas prices, yeah, they've come down a little bit, but they're still pretty high. And, you know, gas prices is just one thing. Just go to the grocery store. Yeah. I mean, it is shocking what things are costing.
Yeah. And it's interesting that Republicans always seem to not do as well as Democrats when it comes to suburban women.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes and buys the groceries?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe, okay, are you a chauvinist, Lamprecht? Okay, I do go buy some groceries, but by and large, I think moms and wives spend more time buying groceries than dads do.
Well,
mainly because if dads go, they come back with beer and Oreos.
Well, and the fact that men don't have an attention span to go grocery shopping. They just don't. I mean, they might go look at the meat section because we're visual people. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, get this list of stuff, and then you say, oh, man, look at these steaks. Gosh, look at a hamburger. How about some chickens over here?
No, I look at the double-filled Oreos.
And then you see a sale on the beer aisle, and so
that's right.
It's
and you lose it all. I'm sorry, it's true. We admit it. At least we admit it, ladies. We're bad. What's the other interesting thing about this is, in terms of enthusiasm, the Marquette University Law School poll found an 18-point edge for Republicans on being very enthusiastic about voting in this midterm election. And as you have said just a few minutes ago, that the vast majority of these congressional districts are decided by the way they're drawn up, which is rather ironic that we had that story about how the North Carolina Supreme Court wants to intervene and tell the Republican Party that they can't draw the maps, even though that's what the Constitution says. But it's rather interesting because so many other states, those maps are drawn with the person in mind who holds that office. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a big turnover. But if you have a huge enthusiasm gap, could that be enough that the people who would normally vote for the Democrats, and listen, there's definitely a leg up by the Republicans in this, that they just stay home, that the Democrats just stay home? Can you get enough of them to stay home this November that suddenly there is a bigger advantage than one might expect for the Republicans? Sabato says he thinks the gain by Republicans in the House will be 20-some seats. We've had other polls, though, that have said as many as 60 seats in the House, which would be a bloodbath. But even 20 would be, a significant majority.
The only thing where I would question that or disagree with it about abortion not being an issue is the fact that, the general public, obviously, and we talked about before, they don't dig into the details like we do, but the general public is not getting the true picture of really what happened with this Supreme Court decision. Right. And it's just, to the point of pure flat-out lies being told. And, when last time I was in the airport, I just look at people here a while back, and they stare mindlessly at CNN like it's the gospel according to John, and CNN. I'll kind of digress a little bit on CNN, but just like today with CNN, with the whole announcement of the breaking news of the GDP today. CNN's headline: breaking news: the U.S. economy contracted again for a second quarter in a row, but GDP is always revised, sometimes significantly. And
that's on top of Biden coming out and saying, it doesn't make any difference.
In my entire adult life, I've never seen that described on any headline regarding a true recession.
Can you imagine if Trump was in office and we were in a second month?
But the same thing with Roe versus Wade. That decision came out just a few weeks ago. When you read the headlines, and it gave a little bit more context of what happened in the article, but the headlines was just flat out false. Yeah. And that's what most people look at.
And again, because it's polling so low, they probably won't do this, but it might not be a bad idea for Republicans just to put together an ad and say, let's get the facts straight. Yes, the U.S. Supreme Court overruled Roe. What does that mean? It's your decision now.
Yep. Simply like, this is what it does, this is what it doesn't do. Don't get any more complicated than that. Like 3 points. Yeah. It doesn't do this, it does do this.
Yep.
And
exactly. Let's take a time out and let's play political trivia, shall we? 561-8255 is the number to call. Your category: every president had this in common. Got a great prize package. Political trivia. 561-8255. We'll play when we get back.
And we're on location today at Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village here in Greenville. One of my favorite people. We've got Lisa Pendry here. And Lisa, big news. You've been working on the store. It looks fantastic. You finally have finished the transformation of the store. You've got your Norwalk gallery open. Give us the whole story here.
We are excited. It's been a big process. It's taken us a while, but now all of our renovations complete, from paint colors to little elegant showroom areas to highlight everything we offer here at Fabric and Home Furnishings.
And we say that it's a furniture store and so much more, and of course that means you also have designers on staff. So tell us about that. You got some new folks.
I do. I've got some new designers that we've added to our team that can come out to your home, walk you through the whole process, help you as much as you need us to pull your home together.
And there's a big party coming on June 16th. You've got your Norwalk Furniture grand opening gala, and it's going to be a big party here in the store, and that sounds like a lot of fun. Tell us about it.
It is. We hope to have dignitaries like Henry Hinton.
I'll be here.
And PJ Conley is going to come, our mayor. Lots of fun people. All of my designers that shop here are going to be here in the community, and we're going to have some champagne and some hors d'oeuvres, representatives from Norwalk, and just have a big night of fun and festivities and education on what we offer.
I'll tell you, the store is packed right now. I know a lot of furniture stores are still having trouble getting inventory, but you guys have a lot of stuff people can buy right off the floor.
We do, Henry. We invested in a warehouse, and we've added lots of inventory so you can just have it delivered or pick it up the day you buy it. So lots of sofas, chairs, everything in performance fabric so you can enjoy your furniture.
And you started 12 months, same as cash.
We did start that so we can help with everything that's going on in the world right now.
All right, Fabric and Home Furnishings here in Arlington Village. Don't forget the big party, the grand opening gala for the Norwalk Gallery, coming up on June 16th at 5:30, big ribbon cutting, and it's going to be a big party. So I'll be here. You need to be here too. Thanks to Lisa for the update.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Empty lots at car dealers everywhere, except here. The selection you want is at Greenville Nissan. And during the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event, buy a new Nissan with financing as low as 0.9%. The versatile Nissan Rogue, the all-new Pathfinder, or gas-saving cars like Nissan Sentra and Altima. And yes, we have trucks. Buy the new Nissan Titan with 0.9% financing, or the all-new Frontier for $99 a month. Hurry to
Really, really good. About the size of muffins.
We on? Oh, we are on.
Okay, we're talking about dinner.
we're out here wondering what our wives are. We just sound like a couple of chauvinist pigs, don't we? We're just pigs. We're hungry. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to political.
Just
trivia.
a hint, though: meatloaf, lima beans, and mashed potatoes. Just a hint.
You know the thing.
All right, let's play political trivia. 561-8255. Your prize package includes a free oil change for your car pickup at Dave Davis's East Carolina Chrysler Dodge or at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. A gift certificate from Fit for Life, including 2 free training sessions with a coach. A $20 gift card to Mucho Bueno for lunch or dinner. Mucho Bueno, located in front of the Westbrook Shopping Center, US 70 West in Havelock. A $20 gift card to Gwendy's Goodies Bakery in Ayden. And a gift certificate to the Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Remember, if you or anyone in your immediate family has won recently, let 60 days pass before you play again. Up first from Vanceboro, it's Dustin. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
Hello.
You ready to play?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's your question. Your category: every president had this in common. Every president of the United States has something in common concerning their family upbringing. According to Pew Research, 20% of U.S. families don't share this distinctive with our presidents. So what is this family distinctive that all U.S. presidents share?
I have no idea.
Don't overthink it, Dustin.
A mother and a father.
Mother and the father. Well, that's not it. That's not it. Say again?
A family household.
That is not it. There was something in common, but I don't think the 20% of Americans are in that category. But Hey, thanks for playing, Dustin. Give us a call back, 561-8255. Let's go to Ron in Chakawinity. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, how are y'all today?
Doing well. Every president in the United States has this in common concerning their family upbringing. Every president. Yet, according to Pew Research, 20% of U.S. families don't share this distinctive with our presidents. What is this family distinctive that all U.S. presidents share?
There's a farming background.
A farming background. That's not it. Good guess. Not it.
Okay.
561-8255. I don't think Trump was a farmer, was he? 561-8255. Doug in New Bern. Hey, Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, how you doing?
Good,
Well,
good.
he just-
Turn your radio down and
he
listen to me over the telephone. Otherwise, you're going to get confused. All right? Give Doug a second to turn his radio down. All right, Doug. Every president of the United States has something in common concerning their family upbringing. According to Pew Research, 20% of U.S. families don't share this distinctive with our presidents. What is this family distinctive that all U.S. presidents share?
Well, the last guy took my answer. I'm going to say something to do with military.
Something to do with the military. That is not it. Donald wasn't in the military either. 561-8255. Who we got, Clark? 561-8255. Who? Will is on the line. Hey, Will.
Hey, Will.
Hey.
Are you ready for a hint, Will?
Sure. Give it to me.
All right. Now you heard the question, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Your first hint, this distinctive probably made the presidents better negotiators. So what do you think this family upbringing distinctive was?
They all had siblings.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. You got it, Will. There is not one president that was an only child. Every one of them had siblings. Yeah. Will, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Aiden.
All right, Will and Aiden, hang on the line, and Clark's going to get you get your information, and we'll get you those gift certificates right out. Thanks for everybody who called. Sorry, Will took away somebody's thunder because we had people on hold, but congratulations, Will and Aiden. Stay with us. Benny and I'll be right back.
And we're on location today at Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village here in Greenville. One of my favorite people. We've got Lisa Pendry here. And Lisa, big news. You've been working on the store. It looks fantastic. You finally have finished the transformation of the store. You've got your Norwalk gallery open. Give us the whole story here.
We are excited. It's been a big process. It's taken us a while, but now all of our renovations complete, from paint colors to little elegant showroom areas to highlight everything we offer here at Fabric and Home Furnishings.
And we say that it's a furniture store and so much more, and of course that means you also have designers on staff. So tell us about that. You got some new folks.
I do. I've got some new designers that we've added to our team that can come out to your home, walk you through the whole process, help you as much as you need us to pull your home together.
And there's a big party coming on June 16th. You've got your Norwalk Furniture grand opening gala, and it's going to be a big party here in the store, and that sounds like a lot of fun. Tell us about it.
It is. We hope to have dignitaries like Henry Hinton.
I'll be here.
And PJ Conley is going to come, our mayor. Lots of fun people. All of my designers that shop here are going to be here in the community, and we're going to have some champagne and some hors d'oeuvres, representatives from Norwalk, and just have a big night of fun and festivities and education on what we offer.
I'll tell you, the store is packed right now. I know a lot of furniture stores are still having trouble getting inventory, but you guys have a lot of stuff people can buy right off the floor.
We do, Henry. We invested in a warehouse, and we've added lots of inventory so you can just have it delivered or pick it up the day you buy it. So lots of sofas, chairs, everything in performance fabric so you can enjoy your furniture.
And you started 12 months same as cash.
We did start that so we can help with everything that's going on in the world right now.
All right, Fabric and Home Furnishings here in Arlington Village. Don't forget the big party, the grand opening gala for the Norwalk Gallery, coming up on June 16th at 5:30, big ribbon cutting, and it's going to be a big party. So I'll be here. You need to be here too. Thanks to Lisa for the update.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Empty lots at car dealers everywhere. Except here. The selection you want is at Greenville Nissan. And during the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event, buy a new Nissan with financing as low as 0.9%. The versatile Nissan Rogue, the all-new Pathfinder, or gas-saving cars like Nissan Sentra and Altima. And yes, we have trucks. Buy the new Nissan Titan with 0.9% financing, or the all-new Frontier for $99 a month. Hurry to Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!
When we're not covering Brandon's heroics.
This, Brandon, what does he play?
Well, Mr. President, they're not,
Folks, let's hear it for Brandon. What a job he's doing. Let's go, Brandon!
Now back to News and
Let's
Views
go.
on 96.3 and 103.7.
Congratulations to Will Hickman of Ayden, North Carolina. He got it. Every president had at least one sibling. Interestingly, Obama had 8 siblings, but they were all half brothers or half sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he had a full brother or sister.
Was it by 8 or 9 different women, or?
I ain't gonna go there.
I mean, really, did you look that up? I was just curious.
I didn't go any deeper than that. But Will Hickman, congratulations. You are our political trivia winner for this Thursday. We're talking about Joe Manchin caving yesterday at the very end of the program, and you brought up, in general context, okay, what did Joe get? Because Joe Manchin has been pretty clear and pretty consistent over the last 10 years. In fact, it was 12 years ago, back in 2010, that Joe said, it wouldn't make any sense at all to raise taxes right now on my constituents as we're in a recession. Because, 2008 was when they had the big housing crisis, and we were still recovering from that. And he didn't want to raise taxes, voted against it. Well, where are we right now, Joe? I mean, now's a good time to raise taxes? Because this bill does have a tax increase on corporate taxes. Interestingly, it also has, or it also makes permanent a tax on coal. And I mean, what is West Virginia? It's a coal mining exporting state. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of the revenue comes from. It is, there's some stories out today as to whether or not Joe will rescind his commitment to this Build Back Better. And there's also stories out today. Okay, how about Kirsten Sinema? Where's she on this?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you would think that she would come out. Maybe she's waiting to see what she's going to get. Like Joe, Joe's got something. I still think he might be
the next president.
Be slid in there as the next Democrat nominee, because I just can't possibly imagine who the Democrats are going to run. Because to win a primary now in the Democrat Party, Joe Biden was kind of the last of someone that you could push through as somewhat moderate and into a general election. But who else have they got? Who else is not extreme in the Democrat Party now?
And that brings up another interesting point. The extremists that they've been kowtowing to over the last 24 months, they would go bananas if Joe Manchin was suddenly there.
Well, that's why I say they wouldn't have he would probably get the percentage of vote of maybe a little bit more than Kamala Harris, but he couldn't win. He just couldn't carry the necessary states to get the nomination. But if if he doesn't have to face a primary and he's just in office as a vice presidential person, and Kamala Harris steps down or chooses not to run, then they may not have a primary.
I would think, though, I mean, I'm trying to take off my biased hat. I mean, and don't get upset with me as I say this if you're a staunch conservative. I'm not saying this is what I want. This is just a political observation. I think Joe Manchin is about the only person out there that they could run that would take away significant votes if Donald Trump is the nominee.
Oh, yeah.
I think there would be a lot of Republicans out there that unfortunately, there were a lot of Republicans out there last time that voted for Joe Biden. But this time around, I think there'd be a lot of people that say, but Joe Manchin has been consistent. He's coherent. He doesn't have cognitive issues. He's consistently been a moderate for decades, and versus versus Donald Trump. I don't know if that's part of the thinking.
But that's the thing, the crazy progressive left stances that you have to take in the Democrat primary now. Joe Manchin's not going to take some of those. He's not going to get up there and say, I can't define a woman, a man can get pregnant. He's not going to say all that nonsense. Right. No. And honestly, I don't think you can win the Democrat primary, a contested primary, without saying that nonsense now. But you're not going to win a general election, and that's what the Democrats know.
Interesting. Interesting today, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is upset because there are 4,000 illegal immigrants in her city. She wants to call in the National Guard to address the situation. Now, this is really curious. She's upset for 4,000, and boy, Ted Cruz let her have it. Said 4,000. What the blankety blank are you thinking about? There's 3.5 million that have crossed our southern border, and you're upset with 4,000? Remember when the Democrats called the busing of these illegals up to Washington, D.C. Nothing but a political stunt?
Yeah, there's 4,000, one farm in Texas.
Oh, yeah. There's 4,000 coming across every day. Hey, we got to run. Congratulations again to our political trivia winner, Will Hickman of Ayton. We'll do it again tomorrow at 5. See you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Another rock and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
What do you see when you imagine life on the coast? Is it salty or sweet? Is it refined or a bit wild? Perhaps it's the perfect combination of everything you ever dreamed of. This is the very best of living on the coast. Bow Coast.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas, you got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Another rock and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.